All right, knight f3. We're up against the French here. Interesting. It's almost like yeah, we might have a Wonstall enjoyer here. Go c3. I think queen c2 here. Bishop d3 also makes quite a lot of sense, but we'll stay standard with this. Okay, definitely a4 after this. e5, a4. A standard reply. Taking would seem to make sense. But we don't have to. It would be nice to get this bishop off the diagonal. So maybe b4 and a5. It could be something. Little h3. Right, rook e1. Trying to play this, but we do need to move this pawn beforehand. Okay, knight b3, perhaps. Bishop h5 we have to reckon with. But I guess we'll play knight d4. Now, if I was black, I would play that. Oh, he does. I guess I forgot this is a titled player. I haven't really played any titled players so far. This one I'm not sure I 100% agree with. Just because we get to keep this. I thought that was definitely the follow-up there. So at least I feel like we're living a little bit better here. Knight d4 next. Here we can take that. He might go bishop d3. I don't know actually. Do we want to do that? Also, knight d4 looks pretty reliable. Yeah, I think we'll go here. Bishop to h3 maybe. Just thinking of this and then bishop h3. We definitely want to take this. Be nice to have a move there, but I think we'll just go back. Knight takes probably even this check first. And there's not a lot of development to be had here from our opponent. Literally, every piece is completely stuck, right? It's the bishop against the rest of the pieces. I think this one makes the most sense, but I'll actually go here, get rook d8 in. We can bring the rook to the e file after. Okay, that's just a free knight. And we can just trade the rooks off. That should be GG. Yeah, I definitely would have considered knight d4 earlier. if I had clued into the fact that we are dealing with a title player here. Knight d4 is definitely the move first, but we played this one and allowed rook f3, which probably not the best, but I think he really made a mistake not taking. Knight e5 looked like the obvious move to me. Good sacrifice though, and okay, we kind of are playing against this stonewall setup, but our d3 e4 works really well against it. This pawn is such a thorn, and yeah, you just don't get to play the stonewall the way that you normally want to, right? You always want to play knight f6, knight e4. It's not that easy. e4, b6. Take our tempo. Come with e5 next. Take with the pawn, of course. a4, a5. And I feel like we've more or less been here before. Do we want to castle knight g3, g6? Or do we want to just hold for g6 here? I think we'll hold knight g3, g6 in the bag. Got rook e8. Same kind of standard setup here. We could go g6. Can also bring the bishop back. I think this looks fine for now. We have a knight b6 move. Could be good. Maybe to take here. Yeah, I kind of like this. I think what I'll do is take on d4, bring the knight back, and say that we're going to play d5, and I don't know, try to go from there. d5 looks nice. Bishop d6, also bishop c5. But yeah, this trade, bringing the pawn there, is very risky. There could be some g4, g5 stuff. So not that easy. Do we go here, or do we just go bishop c5? It all looks pretty good. Let's go here. I feel like if g4, we could play bishop into f4. Also h6 looks good. Escape square. Okay, he does go for that. Let's slide the bishop in. I don't know if this will be good or not. Okay, I think it's time to trade that. Question is, which one do we go for? Maybe we can do this, and then bishop back to e3. I think we want to take this. Takes, queen takes. The only annoying thing is that the rook's attacked, but I think we should be all right. Knight h7 on rook g1. Queen h6. Maybe a king move. We're keeping this defended for now. Okay, I think f6 is probably one of the intended moves here. So, you know, I kind of want to block, but can't quite do that. I think we can get away with this. Just. Ooh, knight f4. Interesting. I guess getting knight h5. That's pretty good move. Big problems. Gotta go here. This move is still happening. Wonder what the way out here is. I don't really see it right now. Maybe this? Could give that a try. Try this. It's probably the only thing I see. We do have this loose. Rook e1 makes a lot of sense. I would say this, yeah, feels almost significant enough that gotta take it because I don't really know what else to do. But, you know, we're allowing rook e1 here, so I definitely don't trust it. Dang. I think it's gonna work out for him there. Dang. GG. Played pretty nice there. I really like knight h5. I actually really like my defense, but it took me way too long to find it. And I feel like I have to give a lot of credit because this position didn't look good for white at all. After d5, I mean, the knight just doesn't have anywhere to go. So I think what happened was, you know, g4, g5. I mentioned this was the only plan for white. But he just kind of, yeah, put it in there and tough to handle. Like at all points, g5, it looks like just total weaknesses. The knight is, or the bishop's no good on d3, but the glaring fact is, look, g7 remains tough to defend. So I think we did the right thing with knight h7. But here, I think this move's a little bit lazy because knight h5 came. I didn't really mind this move as an attempt. But I knew that, you know, we had to be losing here at some point. Like, at this point, queen g3, rook e1 was what I was expecting. He did this, and probably a little bit lucky. Here, I suppose we had rook e2. Dang. But we had seconds, so I was trying to find the safer way to pre-move. But anyone at, you know, 2200 plus is going to be fast as well, so... We got a good setup. I feel like we even got a good opening, but still outplayed with g4, queen g2, g5. Definitely underestimated, and maybe in hindsight, I would have just kept it simple and literally traded every rook or traded bishops with bishop c5. I think that'd probably be the way to go. Oh, we've had quite a few of those. Will be fine. Let's go d3. Okay, I would pre-move, but you never know when the guy's gonna unload. Bishop takes b2 on you, so got to keep your wits about you. Okay, let's go here, and I think h3. Yeah, always h3. Claim the bishop pair for ourselves. I think these are definitely our favorite looking positions, even though very solid for our opponent with this structure and getting rid of light squared bishop. I think we're pretty happy. Bishop f1, got to complete the tuck. And I assume bishop to f4 will be a decent move. Maybe this from black. Yeah, queen c7 will make a lot of sense. But we definitely have to expand on the queen side. We throw this in. I think this one makes sense first. Okay, now this definitely makes some sense. Because e5, I'm not that concerned by. Okay, we have the bishop able to tuck back to c1. The double tuck can work well here. I'm liking the h-pawn advance now. I think we're going to go for that. We're dealing with this pawn structure, so h5 looks pretty nice. g3 to follow up, and then sometimes bishop h3 can be a nice move. And again, we always can bring the bishop back, so it's nice to remember. Nothing special, but I think an easy position to play. I mean, we can definitely play this, but I assume this queen will move, and we haven't really done much there. Let's start with this. We definitely like that trade. I mean, very happy with this piece. Bishop back. Let's just go to e3 for now. And now the important question, how to continue. I think maybe bishop e2, king g2, rook h1. It feels like everyone's rushing to the other side of the board. Like that's kind of the game plan. Fine with me. Let's go b4. Where are these knights going? Feels like they're a little bit clumsy. So maybe we take here and then knight here, something like queen b2, even hitting this pawn could be useful. So yeah, we'll take on b6. Oh, I think that's a mistake. No way this can be good. Everything should be hanging here. This is not anything, and yeah, there's no threats with just one queen, right? That's not a thing. Yeah, these ones are all-time faves. It's just no pressure whenever you're playing these games, right? With white, got the two bishops. You just don't have any weaknesses. The most targetable pawn is the one on e4, and yeah, e5 definitely leads to a nice advantage. But in general, I try to stick to the same types of positions. And yeah, I mean, at this point, huge advantage for white. Opponent didn't play poorly there, but I just am of the opinion that these fianchetto setups where you give away the light squared bishop are just not good against what we do. And a lot of people do them because it's common in the Caro-Kann, it's common in a lot of King's Indians to just give up the bishop. So we take those. Hung his queen. Knight f3. Okay, we got our infallible setup. Bring that bishop back. Moves like h3. So yeah, this one really does speak to this move, c4, and more people have been playing it against us, so we just have to be a little careful of it. This one and this one feels pretty decent, but it will get defended with knight c7, so we need to Need to be careful. I'm gonna hold off, I think. Yeah, tempting, but I'm not really seeing the follow-up. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe there is no specific follow-up. Maybe that's the vibe. Just play slow. H5 maybe. Okay, he does push. Knight g5 looks like a move. I wouldn't be surprised to see h6. I like knight g5 because it supports that. Maybe he'll go like this. And yeah, the knight sits really well here, so looks like he's doing the right thing. Must be that, yeah. And yeah, I would say even though we sagged here, felt pretty good about it, there's no way we're not objectively worse here. Have to be. Here is e4 move. I think we have queen b3. That's not what we like to see. Pressure on this guy. Oh no. Forcing our hand. Well, g4 wins this knight. I suppose we're going to have to do this very uncomfortable looking move. It's probably been winning the knight for a while. I guess ever since queen d6, but I feel like I win the knight and I'm unhappy. That's what it feels like. Why do I feel like we didn't do anything here? I'm winning, right? I'm winning. I'm up material. Someone validate me. Jeez. Up material equals winning. Yeah, this is rough. This is rough. I think this is the way to go. Feel pretty good about that. Bishop c4. And we have knight f1 after bishop e5. Oh. King e8, a bad move. We blundered a mate at the end, but somehow he walked into a mate. Very fortunate for us. Yeah, unfortunately, this was a great move by him, 95. Obviously, we have to be better here, but it was wrong of me to only consider the one variation, because 95 is a great move that created even more threats. And with 25 seconds here, we'd be smarter to just deny the entry. And we have 4 pieces, so you know, as soon as the pieces get out, we'll definitely be winning. But bishop c4 is a little bit on the greedy side, perhaps. Just unnecessary. So yeah, probably just keep the queen out, and then the position is fairly easy. But yeah, luck with the mate for sure, especially because at the end he could have gone to d8. Instead, he just went to e8, and we didn't have anything for it. Okay, knight f6, d6, playing for e5, c6 coming next, bishop e7. I feel like we just had this game from the other side. The c5 move, always something to consider. As I said, higher and higher ratings, you'll start to see this more and more often. Basically was non-existent until 2000, and then we started to see it more after that. I guess we'll take. We could take here, but I don't really enjoy those positions too much. This knight needs to move. Knight b5 is a bit of a mistake. He goes knight f5, makes a lot of sense. Should we keep the bishop here? I feel that we just can't. We may as well take and at least get our pieces out. For some reason didn't account for this properly. This is quite bad, but we may need to do it. Rook e6, another move. Can we get away with this weird rook e6? Everything looks wrong, so I feel like the answer is no. This might have helped, though. Let's see. Let's see. c5's covered. There's no rook d1. Just have to kind of hope we can trade every piece here. Now, takes rook there does need some consideration. This might need to be pawn takes, because if rook d1, how do we keep the rook out? It's such a nasty move to make. Ugh. We have this, but I'm not feeling great about that one. I think we need to go back here. Guess we'll go back. F6. Can't really move the knight, which is not very comfortable. We can bring the king over here to play b5 maybe. No bishop c2. I don't understand that move at all. Just snaking these out in the last moments. Definitely he had the better side of that endgame. There's no doubt about that. We had to play pawn takes f6. Rook e6. I mean, we're flying by the seat of our pants here because it has to be g takes. And okay. Knight on c7. I felt we were kind of holding here. Got king e5. Now we were fine, but the time was so low that we were definitely not favored anymore. And here we should definitely be winning, but it was all about just fast moves here. I think we were down a ton of time. I don't know how bad it was, but the position was bad too, so I could barely even... Yeah, I mean, by the time I decided to do that, we were down a minute. It's the c5 move that... And here, by the way, it's not even that great. It works better with a rook on c1, because then there's knight b5. But here we can definitely do this. I was just like... Didn't even want to play this because I'm so jaded from the move c5. But to be honest, he played it in a way here that just didn't work. Usually with a rook on c1, it works a lot better. Because then here, if we take, they take here, bishop f4, a little bit nicer. And obviously, if there's a bishop here, oh man, the c5 move is an absolute killer. So it can be a real problem. Here, though, we should have just taken. d6. I guess e5 always. Can go queen c7 here. Just try to hold the pawn, I guess. f4 is a nice aggressive setup, though. Makes sense. Shall we go here? I don't know. Let's keep it simple with this. Can take with the pawn. I mean, queen c1, knight g4. I don't know if we want to get into that business, but it's possible. Okay, allowing this. I guess I have to be the sucker here and just take it. Need to be going. Need to be castling rather. feel like e4 makes sense. H6 must come in handy at some point. Maybe rook e8. Okay, a5 is also a useful move. Get to the d file. Maybe this queen should even be dropping back. Bishop a6. Maybe try to trade off that last piece. He's definitely going to leave it there and take back. So there comes the g-pawn of death. Okay, so I think this. Watch out for that g5 move. And I think queen c3 it looks like my next move here. Here, maybe queen in. Try for c4. We're giving some stuff up with this, but these three pawns should go up the board pretty nicely. GG. I guess we liked knight g5 at the end to make sure to trade queens. That kind of forced it. Yeah, if he had played f5 earlier, then we probably would have been forced to take, but the way it happened, we got to set up c6, queen c7. So I was able to maintain the e-pawn, which I always prefer. And then, yeah, anytime I see this, it's like, to me, trade dark square bishops is the way to go. Yeah, and I thought we were doing pretty well here. was pretty happy with this. Bishop a6, knight h7. I don't know. I thought we played pretty well. Knight g5. Oh, fairly clean game, I thought. Believe me, they definitely haven't been lately, so we'll take one out of many. And we got the black pieces again. Don't want that knight showing up there. Maybe time for h5 now. I don't mind a4, don't mind h5. Might get both of them in. Queen a5. Feel we've tried this before. Okay, knight there makes a ton of sense. Giving up the bishop in order to win the pawn is, I don't know, it's a pretty big concession, losing that piece. He's not, understandably, not going to entertain that. Is this crazy here? I don't know. I feel like we're about to do it. We're about to do it. G5. I don't see a knight getting to f5 immediately, although it would be GG if it did. But I thought, okay, let's prevent him from playing f4 and see what happens from that. Weird position here. Yeah, queen trade would definitely be good with the king in the middle, unable to castle. Okay, we can see what he's up to. Makes perfect sense. I wish we could play this move one move quicker. C4 is hanging, so he does need a response to that. Maybe he'll bring the knight back. B5, probably just have to play bishop e6. Definitely could have taken on c4 there. I think we would have been a bit better than we are now. have to flag from a not a great position for sure. I mean, take white any day of the week. Got a knight, like nothing can go, like white can pre-move when nothing can go wrong. If I pre-move, you know, there's all sorts of things like pawns could be hanging. But we only felt comfortable going into that because we had the time advantage. But yeah, not castling here did not feel good. And here I kind of forgot we could take here. Just forgot. Because these pawns are both defended. So this would have actually maybe given us an advantage. F6. Yeah. Oh, I love this position actually. Rip. Yeah, did not take. That would have been way more enjoyable to play. Okay, knight F3. Usually in these ones, I like to get kind of an early A4 in. Okay. Rook B8, A5. That's probably a smart move by him. You see the difference here. He is going to be able to achieve B5. And yeah, he has knight D7, so queen B3 is not terribly effective. Still bishop F1 next. Just going with the simple moves, the habits. I definitely don't agree with that. But I guess he didn't have too many options. I don't think we want to trade, so I'll play knight d2 after that. This bishop is holding me down here on c1, the hero. I think we definitely want to play f4. King h2. Also knight f1, maybe into d5. For now, e5 seems interesting, but I don't think it's the move we want to do. I do kind of like this knight on e3. That's smart, though. Bishop b3 is not an option. We have to go back, cover both of these. Yeah, knight a5 is a very good move. Bishop seems like it kind of belongs more on d3 now. Finally get developed. Maybe bring this rook over. Long time coming, bishop e3. Aren't you proud? Move 29, I just developed everything. Oh, knight takes here was maybe playable. Maybe. Hmm. Did we do it? Did we finally get to a position where we're just up a pawn? What a struggle. That does not strike me as the move, but he does have that next. So he may do it. GG Martin. I know, we're up on time. What the hell was that? What the hell was that? Hey, B6 was a nice move, because a lot of people, especially up to this point, have been playing moves like this, and then A5 is very, very effective, but you can tell at some point it kind of wears off. People maybe over 2200 kind of know that this is a bad structure, but wow, we really made some progress up till then. Because it wasn't until 2200 that people started cluing in, because these positions are very, very nice to play. I know, up a pawn, up on time. Who kidnapped our streamer? Start with knight F3. Get a little A4 in there. I do not like dealing with that bishop. Take it straight off the board. Not interested. Nope. Definitely need to go there, but can probably hold off for the moment. Rook d1, maybe rook e1. I'm leaving this here for now because the f-pawn's a bit annoying. e5, maybe take knight e3. I think we'll bring the bishop all the way back. This move will probably be played soon. I like bishop c4 if we can get it, or maybe knight g4, trade off some material there. Okay, knight g4. We'll be taking this. There's this, but king g7. I think we should do it. King g7, we have rook h1. Now that's a move we like to see, right there. Yeah, the bishop on f5 looks quite good. I should have definitely taken with the queen there, and then we could have immediately played queen h5 or something. I don't think he can use the d file that well, so I'm trying to ignore it a little bit. Queen there, we have bishop e3, which actually just wins. I think we'll actually just play bishop e3. Bishop looks quite good. Do we want to take that though? Not really. Don't think it's worth. Hunt the king down there. GG. Just can't let it escape, that's all. Oh no. Mick Batty. What a username. E5. Notice how basically a blanket rule now, as we're at these ratings, notice how nobody takes, right? Just the concept of just taking it's not good enough anymore. It's not good enough. So we go here. Queen a5. I like to make some more space for my pieces on the queen side if possible. Maybe the long bishop to b6, but doubtful. More likely just knight c5. Knight c5 definitely looking proper here. Definitely see this. I guess that works. Definitely looks a bit weird. But I suppose it gets the job done. Just gotta retreat. Hit him with this. Kind of trapping our queen in here, so I'm not too sure how I feel about that. I would say this makes the most sense. Try to take here. With this and this hanging, I think you have to take it, which is not really a big deal for him. Go here after bishop d3. Yeah. Unfortunately, c5 looks very close to happening. And we're able to take out McBaddy again on time. But it makes sense when you're playing a setup like this at this elo. It makes sense that time decides so many of these games because it's such a passive, like non-committal setup that it really gets the lower rated players when they overcommit. But then the higher rated players, they're not going to overcommit. They're going to maintain the tension. They're going to take their space advantage. And so it ends up being a very slow maneuvering game. And so time decides so much of it. So after doing this speedrun, I can definitely say it feels like it really caps out around 2300 in terms of like 2300 in terms of value. But it really feels like a low elo killer based on my experience playing up the rating ladder. Because it's these passive openings, stronger players are just going to take the space and be like, okay, I'm better. Whereas lower rated players are like all out trying to punish you, and we've seen so many blunders, like the exact same theme over and over. And we can still win these games, but it's mostly going to be like grindy, on time, etc., etc. So we're capable of winning, but it's not like, I don't know, not the easiest thing to copy, for example. But pretty easy to copy, I feel like, up till about 2200, reliably. Okay, knight f3. Starting to pre-move the opening because we already know what moves we're going to play. May as well get them out. How's this? Bishop e3, try to control that square. You want to go here. I think he's going to go knight d7, if I had to guess. And can we control that square again? Not quite. So we should probably play c4. We are threatening a pawn here on b5, which will undermine everything. So obviously he defends. We should, I think we should renew the threat. We can also push and go here. I kind of like that. Knight on a4 is a little bit weird. Let's make the threat one more time and then maybe push. We'll see. Oh, okay. I think he just blundered big time. Can allow bishop takes b5. Now, yeah, I think the whole game just comes apart here. Yeah. This is definitely over. Okay, just missed a one mover there. Not much to say. I think he should have played queen b8, but I was going to play c5 after that. The knight's out of the game. We can play in the d file. I think we had a huge edge here. We already know the opening moves that we want. Won't pre-move it because there could be bishop f5. We'll just wait and see. Get a4 in, knight c4. Sucks that we just played bishop f1 and then this happened, but it is what it is. Let's see if we get any type of endgame here. Knight f4, not too bothersome. We can also just play g3 to completely deal with that. But even allowing the knight in there doesn't, I don't think it really does anything. But may as well prevent it. That's definitely a move. We'll take here. I mean, if we get to just take back, we must have an amazing position. Queen d5 looks like the only attempt, but we'll just play knight d2. Knight f6 takes e4, but we can just move the knight there. Plus there is c4, which I think I kind of like, to get the queen off the diagonal. Let's take this way. We're up some very healthy material here as I chuck some of it back. Did not see that. I don't think it should be a problem. Can we go here? Takes, and then takes on c4. Amazingly, might work. Can't hand back even more material. Not for no reason. I think we can do this. Knight f5. Here and g7 is, I think, pretty strong. Can go h4, h5. Yeah, that move makes sense. He wants to take. Can definitely see knight e5, queen h7 mate happening. I would pre-move it, but he can play knight f6, so probably not smart. This doesn't quite threaten that, although it looks close. It still feels like the move. Here we got to take, because queen takes, there's this. And yeah, I wish we had this. Looks pretty, but there's queen d7, queen e4. So maybe f3. Wait, what? I was planning on going here. Whoa. Dude, we gotta go back. Yeesh. Yeesh. Weird mate there. Had to think here because, like, we're winning, but we can no longer really stop the pawn. I mean, this is not really going to yield that much, so I think this was fair, but the problem is anything can happen with 2 seconds. All calculated, sure. I'll take it. Thanks for the faith. D6. Take our tempo. We have to be ready to castle. This move feels important, but it does blunder a pawn, so I don't think we can do it. I think we can now, though. I think this knight can come back nicely to f7. I don't know if he's thinking of this or this. I don't think they work. Rook d4, maybe a4. We also have bishop d5 to take this knight eventually. Here's c3. I guess I see the issue there. Takes and using the G file looks like a foolproof plan. Okay, goes knight g3. This is a pawn we can take, but then f6 comes, and that can't be what we're trying to play. Rook g1. Can we take it? There's this. There's knight f5. Yeah, not quite. There's queen e6 there. Knight there anyway. Yeah, it's not what we want, I think. I might take with the queen, actually, after he takes. Gotta be careful not to blunder the rook or something. Guess we have to go here. Yeah, this can definitely work because of queen h6. Always a comeback at the end. This looked very suspicious around here. There was also a rook f2 check, which may have come in handy a little bit. But amazingly, this actually does work. I mean, he definitely should have gone here. Taking works like this, but doesn't work if I just take back. I think we should have gone for this more quickly to take. This was the move that was unnecessary. Bishop e8 and bishop c6 should be played, I think, immediately. In general, I think I liked our game, but it's just scary to be attacked with g4, g5 always. Bothersome. But yeah, I don't necessarily feel 100% confident about that one. Okay, gotta be an FM here with the black pieces. Won't be easy. FMs we've played so far have had pretty good understanding. Rook e8 we want. H5 is a bit annoying though. I think d5 might... Yeah, I think d5 might be a move here. Let's just give it a go. Even takes here. I was actually considering this. Could be interesting. But taking just the bishop back seems quite good as well. Tough to say. Guess I'll take. Definitely gave that some thought. Probably knight g3, and he does. Just rook e8. I'll definitely take that. Have to keep an eye on this. Obviously, rook d1 is extremely logical. I guess I feel compelled to go here because I just need to free my queen from the shackles of defense. If we get into a pure knight and bishop endgame, I certainly rate my chances decently. So king f3, knight d2. I don't know if that's actually good or not. Regardless, I generally want my knight on d6. GG. We made it at last. 2,500 with the Philidor. I should get a medal. Definitely got much harder after 2,200. We're taking a tough position against people that understand what's going on, and I'd say most people above 2,300 kind of did. So a lot of maneuvering, a lot of flagging. Exactly, Sigma, which is why I do not usually continue the speedruns, too much further, because at some point it's like, are you really learning that much? It's maybe entertaining. You're still watching some games. You're still seeing the opening, but it's much more instructive before then. Because now I might win games, but it might just be because I'm a stronger player and I don't know, I can flag or something. It's less because of certain characteristics of the opening. So it's one of the harder opening speedruns we've done. I wouldn't say it's harder, but it's definitely less enjoyable from 2,300 plus. Just the types of positions you get are very passive, so you have to kind of flag and grovel a little bit more. But the other systems maybe we've ended a little bit earlier. I don't know if I've taken them all to 2,500. But in general, I lose interest in most speedruns past 22, 23 because it's possible to win, but then I feel like it's not that instructive, and it's possible to be instructive, but then I don't win. I get a great position and then flag because I'm gapping too much. But yeah, in terms of enjoyment, man, being in these closed, cramped positions, it's tough. It's tough, these last 100, 200. I would much rather be in a lost position in the stone wall. At least I'm having fun. I'm sacking stuff, at least I'm I'm making stuff happen. Here, it's more of a slow death, especially if my opponent has some good technique. And we did run into some guys who really just played a good game, and I was like, well, I thought I played a good game too, but we're lost. Thank you for making it to the end of this episode of the Philidor Speedrun. This opening has been super successful for me, and I hope you guys are experiencing the same elo boost. As always, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and turn on post notifications so you do not miss our next upload. I'll see you guys in the next one.